Hello. This video is a bit different because it's not a gaming video and it's not a vlog. In this video we are going through some Pokemon cards from 1996 to 1997. These are not the TCG. These are Pokemon cards made by Bandai in the late 90s. They were sold in vending machines. They are called Pocket Monster Card Art trading cards. There is no game associated with this, they are literally just trading cards. And yeah. If from what I've read so far, they are the original Kensugi Mori art. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through them and give my thoughts and stuff on them. So it's the original 151, and then there's also two extra cards, one with red and the base form starters and Pikachu, and then one with red and blue and the fully evolved starters. And I have no comment on those, just they look good. So then we start with Bulbasaur, which is using Leech Seed, because each of these Pokemon cards have a move in use as well. Now, one thing I will say, they don't really look like seeds. They kind of look like ladybug eggs. I think is like the best way to describe them. Ivysaur using Razor Leaf. Don't have what to say there, just is what I would expect. Then next is Venusaur using Vine Whip. What's interesting about that, the vines have spikes on them. I don't believe we've seen that anywhere else, which is interesting. Charmander using Ember. I don't know, but that Charmander looks a bit sick, I'll be honest. And there's not much of an Ember there. Well, other than that, okay. Then Charmeleon using Slash. What's interesting about that is this Charmeleon seems to have like two large claws and then one small claw on each hand. Charmeleon now is depicted with three claws all roughly the same size, with the centre one being a tiny bit bigger. Then Charizard using Flamethrower. That looks cool. Squirtle using Withdraw. He's literally just crouched down. I'm assuming this is maybe the process of him going in his shell, because that's what I would assume Withdraw would be doing, like Squirtle in his shell. Then Wartortle using Skull Bash, which I guess just means diamonds appear above your head. Okay. Blastoise using Hydro Pump, nothing to say there. Caterpie using String Shot. Clearly this one's young, its aim is horrible. Metapod using Harden. Right. I noticed two things about this. One, this Metapod is very pointy. Like a lot pointier than normal. And also, it's silver. Like metallic. That might be representative of using Harden, but I don't know. Right. Butterfree using Poison Powder. That looks quite good. Does it have a second set? Oh no, it doesn't have a second set of wings. That's to show it flying, like flapping its wings. Okay. Weedle using Poison Sting. Supposedly, it just looks pissed off. Right. Kakuna using Harden. Okay, so this doesn't appear silver. So I don't know what's going on with Metapod. But another thing I noticed, um, Kakuna has its like arms out. I believe that was seen once before in, I want to say, Gen 1 sprite. Give me a second. Well, I'm not sure what sprite it is, but I'll put it up on screen with what game it is in editing. Then there's Beedrill using Pin Missile, which is apparently just shooting its actual stinger. Okay. Pidgey using Sand Attack, which is literally just using its wings to blow sand at you. Seems about right. Pidgeotto using Wing Attack. Now, Wing Attack, I would have expected it to be smacking you with its wing, not launching feathers. Okay. Pidgeot using Agility. Everything seems fine there. Rattata using Focus Energy, which is, yeah, like depicted in most games, it just being surrounded by some form of unidentified energy. Raticate using Super Fang. Not wrong there. Spearow using Leer, just staring at you intently, which seems about right. Fearow using Drill Peck. Right. It's interesting because, yeah, it's spinning around is how it's been depicted in the anime, how Drill Peck was depicted. But any time a Fearow was seen using Drill Peck, if I'm not mistaken, just its beak spun around. Right. Ekans using Leer. Now what's interesting about this, Ekin's eyes are glowing here, representing Leer, but Spearow's wasn't. Okay. Ah, here we go. Arbok. This is the first of many cards to feature another Pokemon. And this Arbok is using Acid on what looks like a very pissed off Diglett. Then next, here we go, this is interesting, Pikachu. Now, obviously, Pikachu's proportions are a bit different now, a bit different here to what they are now. That was because Pikachu used to be a bit chubbier than it is now. But another thing you'll notice, it has a distinct belly, like Raichu does. Which, I'm not sure if it does in the main games. If it does, I'll put the sprite up on screen. Then, Raichu using Thundershock. Seems fine there. Sandshrew using Sand Attack, just kicking sand back with its feet. Seems about right. Sandslash using Poison Sting. What's interesting here is it is actually launching the quills off its back. Okay, interesting. Nidoran female using Growl. It looks more like it's screaming than growling, but okay. Nidorina using Bite on a Voltorb. Jesus! That Voltorb does not look happy. Right, and then Nidoqueen using Poison Sting. What's interesting here is you'd expect Poison Sting to be coming from Nidoqueen's horn, but instead it's growing these spikes out of its body, but it's not shooting them off, they're just there. So what, is it waiting for a Pokemon to run into it? I do not understand. Nidoran male using Leer. Its eyes are not glowing, unlike Ekans. Interesting. Nidorino using Focus Energy. Don't have a lot to say about that one. Nidoking using Horn Drill, and its horn is spinning. Okay, that seems fair by me. Clefairy using Pound. Everything looks fine there. Clefable using Metronome, wiggling its finger, that seems fine. Except one thing to note about this Clefable is it has one tooth, like Clefairy, which I don't think Clefable normally does. Right. Vulpix using Tail Whip, seems fine there. Ninetales using Roar, apparently. It's more like it's using Howl. Jigglypuff using Sing, everything seems fine there. Wigglytuff using Disable on a very, very upset, confused Psyduck. Confused. Zubat using Supersonic is what you'd expect to see from that. Golbat using Wing Attack. Now this is how I expected Wing Attack to be used. To have it be actually smacking with the wing rather than shooting feathers. Oddish using Sleep Powder. Looks like it used it on itself. Gloom using Solar Beam. Not to say about this except I like the sort of retro-y look they used for Solar Beam. That looks quite nice. Vileplume using Petal Dance. Everything seems fine there. Paris using Leech Life on a Weedle. That just, okay. Literally sinking your teeth in there. Right. Parasect using Spore on a Psyduck, which I guess just means mushroom grow around it. Okay. Venonat using Poison Powder. Everything seems fine there. Venomoth using Psychic with spirals coming out of its eyes. That's not how I would expect Psychic to be demonstrated. I would have thought it would demonstrate it like it picking up another Pokemon with its psychic powers or something. But I guess that works. Diglett using Dig. Nothing to say here. Dugtrio using Earthquake. And the way they show that is by it literally just shaking. Okay. That one in the back seems to be a bit worried about something. Meowth using Payday. It's a very older looking Meowth. You can definitely tell these are old, but other than that, I don't really have what to say there. Persian using Slash. Everything looks fine to me there. Psyduck using Scratch. Seems to be getting payback for all these Pokemon bullying it. Golduck using Confusion. Interesting. This Golduck has 4 fingers. While Golduck nowadays only have 3, all the sprites of Golduck did have 4 fingers. But not else to say on that one. Mankey using Karate Chop. Everything looks fine there. Primeape using Thrash. Oh, okay. For a second I thought it had 4 arms like Machamp, but no, that's just it demonstrating its arms moving really quickly. Growlithe using Ember. Seems to be struggling a bit more than Charmander was. There's not really any fire there at all. Arcanine using Leer. Yet again, no glowing eyes. So I don't know what was going on with Ekans. Poliwag using Hypnosis. Right. I would have thought the Spiral would have come out of its spiral stomach. Although, I guess out the forehead makes more sense. But still, you'd expect it to come from a spiral stomach. Poliwhirl using Water Gun. Where is that water coming from? Poliwrath using Double Slap. Well, it's definitely been slapped. Abra using Teleport. Halfway through a teleportation. That looks quite cool, actually. It's probably the coolest Abra's ever looked. Kadabra using Psybeam on a Poliwag. Hey, Poliwag's eyes match its stomach. Okay. Alakazam using Reflect. And looking quite cool while doing so. Machop using Low Kick. I do quite like that, actually. It does actually look kind of cool. Machoke using Seismic Toss. Right, is it using Seismic Toss on the rock? Or does the move Seismic Toss require chucking the rock? Because if it's chucking the rock, that's a lot different to how it's normally portrayed. But if it's using Seismic Toss on the rock, that's fine. Right, Machamp using Mega Kick. Everything looks fine there. Bellsprout using Vine Whip. Right, the vines appear to be like its root of the feet, which is a bit different to the vines normally coming out of its torso. They're also very short, like thin and spindly. But okay. Oh god. Weeping Bell using Acid. What type of acid? Because there's definitely something wrong with that Weeping Bell. Right, Victory Bell using Razor Leaf. Okay. It's just become a Beyblade. Razor Leaf is depicted with it launching the leaves, no? Not spinning around like a Beyblade. Also, it's Victory Bell has like 3 antenna leaf thingies. Victory Bell normally only has 1, right? I don't know if Victory Bell has ever been seen other than this with 3 vines on its head. Tentacle using Supersonic, coming out of the tentacles. Okay, that's fine. I don't see all odd about that. Tentacruel using Constrict on an electrode. That's what I would expect to see, really. Geodude using Rock Throw. Right. Is the rocket thrown itself? Or has another Geodude used Rock Throw and thrown this Geodude at someone? I do not understand. Graveler used Harden. It's hard to tell because Graveler itself is already like that silvery colour. So it's hard to tell if that's also gone silver because of Harden. And then, holy shit. Golem using Explosion. Like, obviously, I know, like, Explosion and Self-Destruct are the Pokemon blowing themselves up, but, God, the art of that. Moving on. Ponyta using Fire Spin, which is literally the fire from its head spiraling all the way around. It looks quite cool. Rapidash using Agility. Yep, that's what I expect to see. Moving on from there. Slowpoke using Growl, apparently. I don't see no Growl in there, but sure. Slowbro using Amnesia. Sure looks like it. Magnemite using Thunder Shock. I like the electricity around the magnets there. Magneton using Supersonic with it coming out of all 6 magnets. Looking quite cool. Farfetch'd using Swords Dance. Looking quite fancy while doing so, might I add. Doduo using Growl. And they've got their necks twisted. Okay. Dodrio using Tri-Attack, apparently. I don't think so. It just looks like they're pissed off about something to the side. Seal using Rest. Oh, that definitely is a sleeping seal. Dugong using Ice Beam. That has frozen a Ditto and turned him, like, rigid. I do like the look of that. Like, just a solid Ditto. Grimer using Poison Gas. Looks fine there. Muck using Sludge Bomb. Yeah, again, not to add there. Shelder using Supersonic. Yep. That looks about right. Cloyster using Spike Cannon. And launching the actual spikes on its body off. That looks quite cool. Ghastly using Nightshade. Right. Is like the red tint on the eyes reminiscent of Nightshade? Or is that just the way Ghastly was drawn? It's hard to tell. If it's how Ghastly was drawn, that's quite cool. I want them to bring that back. Haunter using Hypnosis. Doesn't look like it. It just looks like he's going like this. Gengar using Dream Eater. Eating a Snorlax's dream of food. That is actually quite creative. I do like that. Onyx using Rage. That does look like a very rageful Onyx. Drowsy using Hypnosis. Yeah, again, is it? Hypno using Meditate. That is a meditating Hypno. Krabby using Guillotine. That poor Ditto. Oh god, it gets worse. Kingler using Crab Hammer on a Ditto. That Ditto's gone splat. Right. Voltorb using Light Screen. Looks normal there. Electrode using Explosion. Just splitting into 2. Sure. I guess it is a Pokeball. Execute using Barrage. It's interesting about this because this is Gen 1. The big center seed or egg, it's the seed of Execute is a lot larger than normal. They're normally all around the same size nowadays. Executor using Stomp on Dittos, not Dittos, sorry, Diglets. It's literally playing whack-a-mole. Cubone using Growl. What's interesting about this? I think this is the most of what we've seen of what's under Cubone's mother's skull. I think that's the most we've seen. Because you can see the nose a bit. Right, Marowak using Bone Meringue. Oh, that is a Marowak using Bone Meringue. Hitmonlee using Jump Kick, yep. Hitmonchan using Counter, all those are fine. Lickitung using Slam on a Weeping Bell. That Weeping Bell seems to be enjoying it. There's something wrong with the Bellsprout line in these cards, I swear to God. Coughing using Self-Destruct. Ain't no super gluing that one back together. Like, Electrode, you could super glue that back together. That's just 2 pieces. Golem, it exploded into large enough pieces. But there ain't no fixing that one. Wheezing using Haze, I guess that's okay. Rhyhorn using Focus Energy, surrounded by the same energy like the others were. Rhydon using Takedown, that is just charging straight at you, that seems fine. Chansey using Sing, that is a singing Chansey. Tangela using Constrict. These poor Psyducks, man. Kangaskhan using Dizzy Punch. It looks like he's just uppercutted somebody. Horsey using Smokescreen, yep, that looks normal. Seadra using Water Gun, also normal. Goldeen uses Supersonic with it coming out the horn, interesting. Okay. Seeking using Horn Drill, that seems normal there. Staryu using Swift, that seems about normal. Starmie using Water Gun, that seems normal. Mr. Mime using Barrier to stop the War Turtle that was using Skull Bash from earlier. Cypher using Swords Dance, it just looks like he's dancing, which I guess is what Swords Dance is. Jinx using Lovely Kiss. Ah, this is the original Jinx before the controversy and where it was forced to change skin colour. Electabuzz using Thunder Punch. With electricity coming out of its antennas, I would expect the electricity to be on the fist. But okay. Magmar using Flamethrower. That seems normal there. Pinsir using Guillotine. Right. I don't think its pincers are supposed to go like that. I don't think that's how that's supposed to work. Has it ever been seen where pincers bend down like that? I don't think so. Tauros using Takedown on that poor Psyduck, man. Psyduck gets bullied too much in these cards. Magikarp using Splash. That is an upside down Magikarp. Gyarados using Hyper Beam. That looks cool. Lapras using Sing. It doesn't look to be singing in that image. Ditto using Transform and trying to decide whether it wants to be, well, which one of the 3 Kanto starters it wants to be. Which is cool. Eevee using Tail Whip. Yep, that seems about right. Vaporeon using Mist. That is a Vaporeon surrounded by Mist. Jolteon using Pin Missile. I like a little lightning bolt shape. That's cool. Flareon using Fire Spin. Yeah. Porygon using Tri-Attack by surrounding itself in a pyramid. Okay. Ormanite using Water Gun, that seems fine. Omastar using Spike Cannon by firing off the spikes on its shell. That's cool. Kabuto using Harden. I see this has turned silver like Metapod did. But Kakuna didn't. Kabutops using Slash. That seems about right. Aerodactyl using Wing Attack by just whacking a very small Slowbro with its wings. Okay. Snorlax using Double Edge. Imagine seeing that chasing after you. Articuno using Blizzard. That seems about fine. Zapdos using Thundershock. With coming from the feet. Okay, would have thought like it would have been surrounded all about electricity, not just the feet, but okay. Moltres using Sky Attack. Looks like it's just flying there, to be honest. It's not really doing any attacking. Dratini using Bind on that Pawpaw Charmander. Dragonair using Dragon Rage. That looks cool. Dragonite using Hyper Beam. Interesting, the beam's coming out of its antennas. Whenever Dragonite's been shown using Hyper Beam in the likes of the anime, it's always come out of its mouth. Okay. Mewtwo using Psychic to lift up rocks. I mean, it looks good. Mewtwo's proportions seem a bit off, but then again, it did in Gen 1. So, that's fine. Then Mew using Metronome by wiggling its finger. That's about it, really. Yeah. They're definitely interesting. Also, they are a lot more gruesome, some of those cards. But I don't know. I want some of that art to return on modern TCG cards.